sunset corally colors that they use to highlight his head just makes him pop so much. So fun. I cannot wait to go over some of these brand new cards that they have added for our collection and decks. So, without further ado, let's get started. Before we open the box, let's learn a little bit more about this expansion. Take on the challenge of an eternity. The hustle and bustle of the city turns into havoc as 𝓔𝓼𝓵 𝓟𝓪𝓻 brings turmoil to the streets. Filled with courage and determination, 𝓔𝓺𝓻𝓭 gathers other powerful Mega Evolution Pokemon EX, including 𝓔𝓵 and 𝓔𝓺𝓵 to ward off this growing threat. As night falls, danger blossoms in the Pokémon TCG Mega Evolution Chaos Rising expansion. Per usual, all ETBs come with a very handy player's guide that contains a ton of fun information about the set. Let's take a quick peek. You can see the fun 𝓔𝓺𝓻𝓭 art on the side here. This first page shows some of the beautiful special illustration rares that you can get. The 𝓔𝓺𝓻𝓭 is just so pretty and chaotic, and I love it. I really hope we can find him or any of his line. They're all just beautiful cards. 𝓔𝓼𝓵 is another favorite of mine as well. Yep, AC's Tranquility is beautiful. There's a bunch of support in this set for water-type Pokemon, which is nice, as well as some fun new playstyles with the Delphox Fire deck, and Beedrill will be kind of interesting for grass. We have Ampharos for the electric. There's actually only a few electric Pokemon in this set. That's okay. And of course, 𝓔𝓼𝓵. Oh, we also get some very fun ghost friends. We have our lovely 𝓼𝓵 right here. And its evolved form, the 𝓔𝓺𝓾𝓲𝓵. She looks so happy to see you here. I love it. It's nice because they give you a lot of handy information on how to use the decks, and my favorite part about these is the very handy visual guide that is included at the end, which actually shows you every card that you can possibly pull in the set, as well as the variations of it. Most of the cards have a regular and reverse holo variation, except for EX cards and Mega cards. This is actually a pretty small set. I believe there's only, I want to say 122 cards total in the whole set, is actually very nice because it means it will be a lot easier to master set. Very end, you can see some of the beautiful full arts and special illustration rares that you can get. These are all the secret rares. Got some lovely new ultra rares. I actually pulled this 𝓔𝓚𝓵 EX ultra rare in my build-in battle, and it's such a fun card. I love the design. And this set does feature one golden card, the 𝓔𝓚𝓚𝓵. I still have yet to pull any golden cards, so that would be a nice surprise, but I'm not banking on it because I know they are very rare. The promo card included in this ETB features Fennekin, our fiery fox friend, and I just love this. It has such like a calming and peaceful feel to the card. I always love it when the illustrators do more of a slice of life style art. The Fennekin is seen here prowling on top of a very comfy looking couch. There's a nice soft blanket and a poofy pillow, and she just looks like she's just having the nicest day. The ETB also comes with 6 dividers to help organize your cards in your bulk bin or in the ETB box if that's where you store them. These ones have the Greninja on it in the mid surfing. It's very fun. And on the back, it is that kind of corally pink color featuring the Pokeball in the center. Very fun. They've also included a matching pack of sleeves to help protect your cards in play. This also features the same Greninja design on them. Always nice to have extra sleeves. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love the coin that they included in this one. It features the adorable 𝓝𝓪𝓵, and the hollow pattern actually on it seems like it's a new one. It features a bunch of like very tiny circles that almost look like bubbles. That's so fun. Very fitting for our Greninja line. Per usual, also included is a new set of damage dice to help you when you play the casual game. It looks like the damage counters are actually the same kind of slate colored style that they've been doing a lot of lately. But the regular dice for rolling heads and tails is the nice coral pink with the turquoise blue dots on it. And of course, we cannot forget the 9 packs of Chaos Rising that are included as well. If I was opening up the Pokemon Center exclusive version, I would actually have 11 packs. But this is just a regular one, so there are 9. Let's see who's hiding inside these packs. Let's kick off the pack openings with this pack featuring the 𝓔𝓚𝓵 It's so fun looking. That was like a sea dragon type Pokemon. which is the evolved form of the adorable Funpy, our little elephant buddy. The Donphan is seen here prowling the desert. It looks like there's some big sandy rock canyon behind him, and he looks very serious and stoic. We have our Braxian up next. Braxian is the evolved form of the Fennekin, and she is seen here preparing a flamethrower attack on top of one of the rooftops in Lumio City. Maybe she is battling at night in the 𝓔𝓺𝓾𝓬𝓬𝓮𝓼. We have a grumpy little Skrelp up next, floating his way under the ocean. There's some lovely coral around him, and looks like some kind of seaweed or sea plants. Next up is a 𝓔𝓺𝓵 the trash heap Pokemon. He looks like he just finished decimating this little house area. There's a lot of like smoke going on behind him as if a battle has just commenced. 𝓔𝓺𝓵. Oh, fun. We have one of 4 variations, I believe, of Deoxys, the DNA Pokemon. I love the angle that the artist used for this. They like really nailed the perspective of it reaching out and attacking you with its size spear. That's so cool. It's fun because there's each of the variations of Deoxys in the set actually have different attacks, so it'd be very interesting to try out a deck with all of them. We have a new stadium card, the Prism Tower, which is seen here, bright and aglow at night. The Prism Tower reads, once during each player's turn, that player may discard 2 cards from their hand in order to draw a card. It's interesting, although I don't know how much play it's really going to see because that's a pretty decent sacrifice just for 1 card. For our first reverse holo, we have an adorable Carnivine. Although he's kind of like wrapped himself around this tree branch here and is looking very excited as you approach him. I also love that his attack is called Jump Hole. That's fun. Oh. For our next reverse holo, we have the lovely Crobat. Crobat was one of the 4 build and battle decks that you could get, and he has a really cool ability called Nighttime Maneuvers. The way it works is, once per turn, if he is in the active spot, then you can search your deck for any card you want, shuffle the deck, and then put that card on top of it. So you always know what you will be drawing next turn, unless your hand gets disrupted. each grass energy attached to him. Ooh, that could be really fun in combination with the Mechanium that makes it so all grass energies count as 2. I could see that being a really interesting deck. They've been giving a lot of powerful moves and abilities to the grass decks recently. Nice and sleeved up. Alright, let's move on to the next pack, featuring the lovely Mega Pyroar on the front. He's such a giant mane on him. That's really fun. You know, one of you had commented that you wanted to see some more tracing in the video, so I will be trying to include more of that tonight. Let me know if you guys like that and want more of it. I was thinking it could be fun to do a whole video of tracing. There's the next QR code for you. And of course our energy trick to the front. And we kick off this pack with a fighting energy. First up is the adorable 𝓔𝓺𝓵, our electric sheep friend. Oh, I just love it. It's a beautiful overhead angle of the 𝓔𝓵 where she is just kind of gently gazing above, and there's some beautiful, colorful flowers around her and a nice comfy field of grass that she is laying in. Very nice. We have an adorable 𝓝𝓪𝓼 up next, who looks like he is running away from something across the lily pads. He definitely looks like he is in a hurry. Next up is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon, Vulpix. I feel like she's a very underrated Pokemon, especially for the original 151. The Vulpix here is seen playfully kicking up some fall foliage as she plays around in the forest. So cute. We have another classic Pokemon, the Weedle, who is taking a nice evening stroll outside of Prism Tower. I love this little tree branch in the foreground, as if he's kind of peeking out through it. Very cute. Next up is a 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵. 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵 is the evolved form of Ferroseed, and he has an ability called 𝓔𝓺𝓵. It reads, during your opponent's turn, if this Pokemon is discarded from your deck by an effect of an attack or ability from your opponent's Pokemon, or by an effect of your opponent's item or supporter cards, then you get to discard the top 8 cards of your opponent's deck. What? Oh, that could be really fun. I feel like since the Wiglet line, there hasn't been too many interesting kind of deck milling decks. So I could see this being fun. Although it's tough because it has to be from your opponent, so you can't just use the stadium that they had added here to the Prism Tower stadium card to discard him. Relaxus up next, featuring the 𝓤 Spear attack. This one was interesting in the build and battle if you could get enough energy on him to make it work, because he does 120 damage, and if he has at least 2 extra energy attached, then the attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, which is incredibly powerful for the build and battle format. We have the new supporter card, AZ's Tranquility, and he is seen here kind of just wandering the halls of his hotel. There's a nice little light glowing and a plant in the windowsill behind him. He's looking very pensive and serious. For our first reverse holo, we have another Braixen. Or is it Braixen? I feel like I'm always terrible at pronouncing the Pokemon, and I do apologize for that. He features an attack called 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵 that does 80 damage, but you have to discard an energy from him to make it work. However, if you use the new flame energy, special energy they added in this particular set, it actually pairs very well with his attack, because that card lets you, if you discard it from an attack, instead of going into your discard pile, it goes back into your hand. For our next reverse holo, we have a Tauros, the wild bull Pokemon. He's stampeding towards us through a kind of like a muddy canyon, it looks like. And for our next rare, we have another Crobat. The Crobat is fun as well because of his poison sound wave attack that only costs 1 dark energy and does 80 damage, plus it also confuses and poisons your opponent. So that combination can be very difficult to deal with, because it basically forces your opponent to either retreat them to heal those conditions, or deal with maybe not being able to attack and taking damage each turn. Him nice and sleeved up. is around in the jungle. He's kind of tossing what looks like a berry or a little ball in the air. Almost like he's playing hacky sack with it. It's so fun. We have a card that was very useful against the fire deck in Build and Battle. The Pet Rat. He has a really cool ability called Watchful Eye, which makes it so damage counters on each Pokemon cannot be moved to other Pokemon, which effectively stops Monkey Dory as well as the Ninetales attack. So I can definitely see people using this more in the future. We have actually kind of adorable Drubbish here, looking like he just left looks like the shopping center, and there's like a little Pokemon center in the background there. I love it. Little trash bag Pokemon. Ooh. We have an Avalugg. The giant iceberg Pokemon, which you don't really realize how big he actually is until in like CA when you approach him and he's just gigantic and very intimidating looking. Avalugg. We have a very happy looking Sudowoodo up next, doing a little dance in the forest and trying to blend in with the trees around him. We have a new supporter card that features Emma, the detective from Legend CA. This card makes it so your opponent has to reveal their hand, and you get to draw a card for each Pokemon that you find there. Very handy. Oh, hey. For our reverse holo, we have another Emma card. Always funny when that happens. Oh. For our next reverse holo, we have an adorable 𝓔𝓼𝓵 who is just lounging out in a tree. He looks very comfortable. Looks like it's just like a nice, warm, sunny afternoon. And oh, nice. We have our first mega card of the night, and it is the Mega Greninja. Awesome. Very fun. I just love how they've been doing the mega cards. They have such a cool texture to them and so much like chaotic energy around them. The Mega Greninja has a fun ability called Mortal Shuriken. You can see here, which lets you once per turn, if he is in the active spot, you get to discard a water energy from your hand and put 6 damage counters on any one of your opponent's Pokemon. Very handy. He also features a Ninja Spinner attack for 120 damage, and you may put a water energy attached to him into your hand to have it do an additional 80 damage. Very nice. Let's get him nice and sleeved up and battle ready. Here, hang out with Finnegan up there. We have our cute little Leo. And our Emma card. Next up, we will open a pack that features the fish friend. He looks so spiky. He is useful because of his poison point ability, where every time he gets attacked, it poisons the attacker, which is very, very handy for stalling out Pokemon early game, especially because his 𝓔𝓺𝓵 attack does an additional 50 damage if your opponent is poisoned. We have a lovely 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵 up next. 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵. He is seen here kind of hovering more on the ocean bottom and hiding inside of some kelp or seaweed. I love actually the color design that the illustrator used. Oh, it's a Moryu card. That's why I like it. The illustrator Moryu did just like a bunch of fun little details and just love these little bubbles all around. So we have one of the few electric Pokemon in this set up next, the 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵. Oh, she looks like she's actually a little bit frightened as she soars through the battle zone at night. Looks like there's maybe a giant attack right over there that may have knocked down a bunch of structures in the background. It's cool. 𝓝𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵. Oh. Next up, we have a 𝓔𝓺𝓻𝓭 𝓟𝓵𝓭 Pokemon who is launching a very stinky attack towards us. Following the 𝓔𝓺𝓻𝓭, we have a Meowstic. Meowstic is the evolved form of Esper, and I just love the coloration that the illustrator used on this card. It just has such a fun, like, iridescent feel to it, almost like bubbles in the way that they did all the gradients of color. It's very fun. We have another Emma supporter card. Ooh. We have a reverse holo of the 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵 up next. The 𝓝𝓪𝓲𝓵 was another one of the decks you could get in pre-release, and he has a really cool ability called Synchro Pulse that makes his attack do an additional 80 more damage if the number of cards in your hand is the same as your opponent's. Oh. Ironically, I actually already pulled this full art, but that is okay because it is a really fun one. We got a illustration rare of the 𝓵𝓼𝓐. I just love this card because it has like another one of those kind of daily slice of life feels to it. You can see the 𝓵𝓼𝓐 here is working at a construction site. He has a buddy in the background also. Wonder if they were hired support for these construction workers. So fun. That's a pretty card. I need to make a binder page that is like all city Pokemon scenes. You would fit in really well with that. And we have a bubbly water energy. This is the new special energy for water type Pokemon. And if it is attached to a water Pokemon, then that Pokemon recovers from a lovely farrow seed up next. Farrow seed. I can't tell if he's kind of like sitting on a mound of rocks and moss, or if he's actually underground and is getting ready to sprout. We have another 𝓤𝓼𝓵 up next. The bug catcher. It attracts prey with its sweet-smelling saliva, then jumps down. It takes a whole day to eat its prey. It's actually very true for Venus flytraps. They are much slower than you think. We have a lovely 𝓪𝓲𝓵 up next. 𝓪𝓲𝓵 is one of my favorite Pokemon, and anytime I'm playing a Pokemon game and they include a 𝓪𝓲𝓵, it is always my go-to electric. We have a majestic Ninetales running through a lovely field of grass. The Ninetales was extremely useful in the 𝓼𝓵 deck because of the nine-tailed transfer attack right here. The way it works is you get to move all damage counters from one of your benched Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon, which was an awesome way to get around the Crobat deck's poisoning, because it does not poison the Ninetales to use that attack, since you're just placing damage counters instead of attacking directly. We have a new Pokemon duel up next, the Adversity Policy. It reads, if the Pokemon this card is attached to has weakness to your opponent's active Pokemon type, it is in the active spot, and it is damaged by an attack, then you get to draw 3 cards. Then we have another version of the Deoxys up next. This one is the defense version. As you can see, he's in a very guarding pose right there, and is blocking a looks like a ground type attack. For our first reverse holo of this pack, we have the Watchog. The evolved form of the pet rat that we found earlier. And for our next reverse holo, we have another lovely Weedle. This Weedle features a surprise attack that does 30 damage, and you have to flip a coin. If you get tails, the attack does nothing. And for our rare of this pack, we have the legendary Ho-Oh. It's actually looking extra majestic in this card. I love how they kind of designed all the flame energy around her. The Ho-Oh features 2 attacks, Flame of Revival and Bright Wing. The Flame of Revival lets you put 3 basic Pokemon from your discard pile back to your bench. That's pretty nice. And the Bright Wing does 130 damage, but you have to discard a fire energy from the Pokemon. I wonder if it has to be a fire basic energy, or if you could discard the Nitro Fire. I have to look into that. My gut says that it has to be a basic energy, but sometimes you have to look up to find out. Sesame Street whenever I get all the Pokemon packs. Which I've been watching a lot more of lately because my son has gotten very into Elmo. We begin this pack with a dark energy. We have a lovely ball toy up first. It looks like he's like in the middle of a very big like windstorm almost in the forest, or it's his continuous spin attack. That's actually pretty cool how the artist managed to like really get that across by almost like desaturating the air around him. It's very cool. We have another lovely pet rat up next. Using food stored in cheek pouches, they can keep watch for days. They use their tails to communicate with others. Pet rat. Oh, we have a very shy-looking Bergmite. Oh, he's so cute. It looks like he's kind of wandering around one of the shopping centers at night and might be a little bit lost. Love it. Oh, we have a Metang up next, who is soaring high on the rooftops. I actually don't know if I've actually pulled any Metangs yet. I feel like I've gotten a lot of the Buildums and the Metagross. I mean, I guess I got the full art, but I haven't had this particular version of the card yet. It's pretty. We have another Garbodor up next. He features an ability called Gloomy Garbage, where attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon that have a tool attached to them do 20 less damage. I feel like that's kind of a specific ability though. I don't know if that would really be seeing much use in play. We have the third variation of Deoxys. It's very fun. I love how his arms are almost like double helixes. That's really cool. This version features two attacks, Genome Charge and Psychic. The Genome Charge lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic Psychic energy to attach to the Deoxys. And his Psychic attack does 80 damage plus an additional 20 for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Very cool. Awesome. I've been hoping to get more of these. We have the item card, Special Red card, which looks like a reverse Uno to me. This is a kind of sought out card right now for a lot of decks because it is one of the few hand disruption cards that are currently in the standard format. The way this one in particular works is you can only use it if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, and it forces them to shuffle their hand and put it on the bottom of their deck. Then they get to draw 3 new cards. poses for us on a lovely lakeside. For our next reverse hollow, we have an adorable 𝓼𝓵. Oh, he looks so happy and joyful. I love it. And, oh, nice. We have an ultra rare of 𝓵𝓼𝓵 Fun. I love the pose that they have him in, where his one needle arm is poking straight towards us. The 𝓵𝓼𝓵 has one attack called 𝓔𝓺𝓵 that does 110 damage for each of your 𝓵 and 𝓵𝓼𝓵 in play, which could be a very fun one to try out, because you can have up to 4 of each Pokemon in your deck. So if you manage to get, I guess you could only potentially get 4 because they have to evolve from the Kakunas, and you can only have 4 Kakunas. But that still is a max of 440 damage, which is pretty awesome for only 1 grass energy. Very cool. I also just love this purple background they have him on. Purple's my favorite color, and it's a very nice design. Hang out up there with the hit friends. We have a lovely 𝓼𝓵. And our 𝓔𝓺𝓵. Beautiful. We are now moving onwards to lucky number 777, featuring Mega Blowout. The next QR code for you. Our energy trick to the front. And first up, we have a fire energy. Red hot fire. We have another Watchhog. Using luminescent matter within its body, it makes its eyes and body glow and stuns attacking opponents. That's pretty cool. You can tell the artist did a little bit of that with kind of a white glowy outline there. It's pretty cool. Oh, we have another classic, Zubat, who is soaring around the city at night. Looks like there's a bunch of telephone wires right here for him to land on. And oh, he looks like he's having a very nice evening. Oh. Next up is the evolved form of the 𝓼𝓼𝓵 fish that we found earlier. He has evolved from a fish into an octopus and is the octillery. I love that he's poofing out this giant bubble of water towards us. He's looking very serious and intense. It's fun. We have a beautiful Beldum. extremely useful for my Misty's Gyarados deck, which is still one of my favorites to play. I know I'm like the only person in the world that plays it, but it is a lot of fun. We have the evolved form of the Metang, the Metagross. Metagross is seen here mid-battle under a lovely aurora borealis. Looks like a nice, like, snowy, icy scene. It's beautiful. We have a new supporter card featuring Roxy. It's Roxy's Performance. This card is for poison decks, and it makes it so during your opponent's next turn, if their Pokemon is poisoned, then they can not retreat. For our first reverse hollow, we have the lovely Sudowoodo. To avoid being attacked, it does nothing but mimic a tree. It hates water and flees from rain. For our next reverse hollow, we have the Stadium Prism Tower. And for our rare card of the pack, we have the lovely 𝓔𝓼𝓵, who is seen here kind of surfing a wave and looking pretty cool. The 𝓔𝓼𝓵 has 2 attacks: Shoot Through and Reflect Energy. Shoot Through does 20 damage and also does 20 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. That's nice. And the Reflect Energy does 70, plus you get to move an energy from him to one of your benched Pokemon. That's good if you know he's gonna get knocked out the next turn and you can kind of pre-power up another one of your Pokemon. Lovely 𝓔𝓼𝓵. Our Prism Tower. And our Sudowoodo. Very nice. Let's move onwards to our penultimate pack of the evening. Another that features the Mega Greninja. Here's your next QR code of the night. Move our energy to the front, and we begin with another basic water energy. Splish, splish, splash. Matches my nail polish nicely too. First up, we have the evolved form of the Zubat, the Golbat. He is seen here with his mouth agape as he soars above the city from a very high height. Very fun. We have another lovely chess spin up next. Chess spin. The quills on its head are usually soft. When it flexes them, the points become so hard sharp that they can pierce rock. We have a adorable Esper up first. Esper. I love the Espers because they just have such a silly expression on their face. Like there's a lot going on in their head and they're just keeping very quiet about it. We have another lovely Mareep standing in the fields. Its fluffy coat doubles in size when static electricity builds up. Touching it can be quite shocking. We have another gigantic 𝓵𝓪𝓲𝓵. Its ice-covered body is as hard as steel. Its enormous frame crushes anything that stands in its way. We have another fancy 𝓵𝓪𝓲𝓵. I always find it interesting that the text in Pokemon games is kind of like a language that's kind of its own language. I wonder if you could actually translate what that says. It's kind of like the Ancient Mew card from back in the 2000s. I actually did spend a lot of time as a kid actually translating it, which is very fun when I realized that it was something you could decode. We have another lovely 𝓵𝓪𝓲𝓵 up next. He features 2 attacks, Trials and Triumphulations, and Rock Hurl. The first attack is useful if you're playing the Transformation Tome card, which we have not actually come across yet, but it lets you search your deck for up to 2 Transformation Tomes and add them to your hand. The Rock Hurl does 30 damage. For our first reverse hollow, we have another lovely Chestnut. It's always nice to get the rare cards in reverse hollow form. Its tackle is forceful enough to flip a 50-ton tank. It shields its allies from danger with its own body. For our next reverse hollow, we have the adorable 𝓵𝓪𝓲𝓵. Well, friends, we are down to our final pack of the evening. All good things must come to an end, but let's see who is awaiting us inside this final pack. Here's our final QR code of the night. Energy drink to the front, and lots of good tabbies for extra luck. Alright, we begin this final pack of the evening with a metal energy. We have a lovely Fennekin up first, which I think actually it's our first Fennekin of the night. That's surprising. She is seen here prancing around what looks like maybe a window overlooking a forest or a garden. It's a very kind of lush, castle-y feel to it. We have a 𝓔𝓚𝓻, who is staring directly at us and into your soul. It's actually a very lovely sunset scene that the illustrator drew on this. He's very high up in the branches, so you can see all the treetops behind him and below. There's just a nice sunset behind him. Beautiful. We have another adorable fun bee. It is far stronger than it appears. If a vampy is swinging its trunk around and your arm gets hit by it, your bone will shatter. Who knew? We have another relaxing fluffy in the fields. If its coat becomes fully charged with electricity, its tail lights up. Fluffy can fire wool that zaps on impact. Oh, we have a new one. The 𝓔𝓚𝓵. He's looking very menacing as he's like taller than this massive wave that is surrounding him. Looks like it's a very rough sea day as well. It will do anything to win, taking advantage of every opening and finishing opponents off with the small claws on its front legs. So cute, little tiny claws. Like little T-Rex arms. We have another variation of Deoxys up next. This one featuring the Psy Speed attack. He does 30 damage, and you get to draw cards until you have a 5 in your hand. Very cool. I feel like he could be a very fun single prize deck. Oh, we have a 𝓔𝓚𝓼 up next, and I love that it looks like he's just shooting a laser ray out of his hand. He just looks like he's just so nonchalantly doing that though. That's fun. Looks like it might be the devolution ray of his attack, which does 50 damage and de-evolves your opponent's Pokemon. I love that. I've always really wanted to build a deck based around de-evolution. I think the main card that could do that was like an Archeops or something. is knocked out by the damage, then during their next turn, it prevents all damage and effects done to the Glizzapod. His boundless power does 150 damage, and during the next turn, he cannot use attacks. Not as exciting as I thought it was. For our next reverse hollow, we end how we started with a 𝓚𝓚𝓼𝓵. He features a leafy charge attack for 20 damage and lets you search your deck for a basic grass energy card to attach to him. He also features a classic Vine Whip for 80 damage. And our final card of the night is the Nitro Fire energy. Nitro Fire. This is the energy that I had mentioned way back, that if it is attached to a fire Pokemon and it is discarded, then you get to put it back into your hand instead of the discard pile, which is always handy. Very nice. We have our 𝓚𝓚𝓼𝓵 reverse hollow and a Glizzapod. Very fun. Well, friends, that is it for tonight's opening. As you can see, we got a very nice variation of each card. Actually seems pretty balanced because we got one regular EX, a Mega EX, an Ultra Rare, and a Full Art. So fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are not already subscribed,